Hey, it's Dan. Welcome back to iAllegedly. I've got a good one for you today because you may have to pay to get your next job. Unbelievable. Like, subscribe. Don't forget to check your email because the winners list just went out and there is a lot of cool and exciting prizes for everybody that are going to be in the mail this week. Wow, my friend Mike sent me something that was unbelievable. This comes from the Wall Street Journal. This is called reverse recruiting. Reverse recruiting. Well, what is that? That is when you pay the recruiter to go out and get a job interview. You pay the recruiter to go out and, get an introduction. It is the complete opposite. Now, I am super familiar with this. I have had so many people speak at my medical and biotech events through the years, and these people are still friends of mine. And I want to tell you guys, when you sit there and you fill a room full of people, you can, designate it to just one group of people. We're going to have a bunch of old scientists here, and it's going to be the Nerd Festival. Or you can sit there and say, gosh, I want to sell tickets to everybody in this space, young, old, everybody, and have them meet from marketers to people that work with the FDA to people that work in the regulatory section, people that raise money, people that manufacture. I could go on for an hour. Point is that you get a lot of people together and people may think, gosh, I have nothing to do with that, but they do because they're all in the same industry doing the same thing, and you should understand the trial and tribulations of what everybody does. It's that simple. Recruiting is very simple. A company will go to a recruiter and say, listen, we're going to offer this job, I'm going to use round figures, at $100,000. If you place it, we will pay this person $100,000 a year, but we will pay you $20,000 to give us the right candidate. So what do? They don't inundate the company with, nonsense candidates that are BS. They go out and they research and get the most qualified person that they can get as quickly as possible to fill that position. And they will get paid a huge commission for that. I have met some great people, young and old, that did this. And one woman, Denise, to give you an idea about her, she was exceptional at it. She was married to a super wealthy man. They lived in a beautiful section near Costa de Casa, California. And she was just really, really a friendly person. But she was brilliant at placing people in jobs in the medical, the tech space, and the biotech space. Absolutely brilliant at it. One thing that she did was she had a Friday meeting where she got all the people, and they called themselves In Transition, which it had a different meeting 9 years ago than what it does today. And these people that were in transition were people that were between jobs, and they were looking for new employment. And what she would do is she would sit there and do a powwow, have lunch with everybody, and talk about what they can do, what interviews do you have scheduled, what opportunities are you doing next. And I got to speak at these luncheons a couple times and told everybody the same thing, both times. Think out of the box. Well, Dan, I send out 3 resumes a day and I pinpoint them to the right companies. Nobody's reading those. Do yourself a favor that's going to separate you from everybody else. This is no different right now in business than anything else. You have to. If you want to get new customers, do something different. Don't just place ads and advertise. You've got to squeeze every dollar out of your existing clientele. And this was always great, but Denise spoke at my events, and she would go out. I'm trying to reach down for some feed for the duckies and the geese. Okay? She would feed, she would get these people together and have them get jobs. And whoever got the job had to pay for the lunch for that week. Sometimes Denise would pay over and over again. Somebody would get a job. Now, think about this. Could you imagine paying a company for you to get an interview? The Wall Street Journal job is great because, hey, Dan, I want an introduction to XYZ Medical. Okay, well, it's going to cost you $5,000 to meet the hiring manager for that company. Whoa, really? People are paying that. There's a lot of people out there that have a lot of money to piss away, and they're doing that. My son, I told you this story last week, and now it's truer than ever. Well, Dad, my class of my graduating class of 2024, there's a very few people that got jobs in that class. Isn't that interesting? Now, again, my son's not working in the film industry directly. He is going on audition after audition, but he's a waiter, okay? Waitressing. And I was having a conversation with a professional and told this professional what my son made for a living last year, and she just completely lost her mind. I have student loan debt, and your son, as a waiter, makes more money than I do. Yeah, well, you made a mistake with the job you chose. Anyways, this reverse recruiting is horrific right now because this is the sign of the times. It is getting to be a bigger problem, and you can sit there and say, "Oh, that's so isolated, Dan. It's nuts." The job market is completely upside down. They say right now that there are 7.3 million people looking for a job right now, and the problem with this is that there's only 5 million jobs. Now, when you look, and I'll break it down a little more in detail in a minute, but when you look at these jobs, you're competing against everybody. And it used to be the best resume, the best computer programmer, the best of everything. And it's not. A lot of these companies place ads to just build the resumes up. We're eventually going to need to hire a new engineer. Let's plan on this now, and let's do what we can do to, build the resume arsenal. And they're fake. They're all fake. Now, people have argued this should be an illegal crime. This should be a crime to fake a job listing. But right now it's not. You can go do this. I'm surprised you don't have knucklehead YouTubers that go out there and, hey, let's place a fake ad and let's put these people through a job interview just to torture them. Now, ghost jobs. These are the fake jobs. They anticipate that these cost companies $25 trillion a year in fake jobs. Isn't that wild to think about? This such a huge number. The potential jobs nearly, how about this? As high as 28 to 32% of all job listings are completely fake. Now, if you want to sell something to somebody, you have to do it differently right now. You just cannot place ads and think that people are miraculously going to buy. Your competition is at an all-time high. Your competition to get a job is at an all-time high. Mike's article out of the Wall Street Journal is so good. It's just brilliant because it exemplifies the fact that this is completely backwards and completely upside down. These recruiters would do anything to get at my event. I would give them discounts. Denise's group, I would go out and I would give her 20 free passes to the event. Think about this. You're a man or woman looking for a job in the biotech or medtech space, and there's going to be all these people that are going to be hiring managers, vice presidents, executives, things like that. And then from there, I'd give these out, and it would be first come, first serve. And you could always tell the people that were serious because they would fill up in a matter of 2-3 days max. Those tickets would be given away. Then what I would randomly do is I would grab 4 people randomly from Denise's group, and I would go and call them up. Hey, it's Dan. I'm running the event. Is there somebody you want to meet? Is there a place you've hired at, you've had 3 or 4 interviews with, and you would like me to get them there? Oh, my God. I won't say the name of the company because they're all Orange County companies that these people were trying to get, and some of them still watch my stuff. So, oh gosh, if you could get the hiring manager or the vice president of XYZ Medical or so-and-so Biotech or Stevens, and it's another name close to that, damn, that would be the greatest thing ever. And then what I would do is I would open the show. I would call on these people to show their brilliance. And then I would set up lunch. Now, one thing about lunch at my events, completely different than anything you've gone. You show up with your posse and your XYZ doctor and you're so cool and you bring 4 people with you, not one of you will sit together. That's the rule. Or get the hell out. Beat it. Go. Whoa, this is my team. We don't get much time together. Well, do it at your own office. Don't do it at my event. You're here to meet new people. Nobody complained after it was done. They all said, oh, that was so great. But you know what I would do with the people that were looking for a job? I'd place them at those tables. Oh my gosh, I heard you talk. What's your background? You know what I mean? Think about this. You're going through 60 resumes, and oh my gosh, I met this at Dan's event, that MedTech Monday event. Let's bring her in. Let's bring him in. It worked every time. Not one person did not get a job from doing the shenanigans. And it's complete shenanigans. But also, if a guy wrote me a check, $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 to sponsor my event, who do you want there? Well, these people are out of state, Dan. I don't know if you can handle that, but I would love to get this company there. You know what I did? I invited a company from Minnesota to my event in January. And you know what it is in January? It's warm. And how I got them there was I showed me and my buddy running on the pier on a Sunday morning at 7 a.m. and it being sunny. You guys need to come out here and come to MedTech Monday. Oh my gosh. They all did. And it all worked. But not everybody does that, guys. So you have to think out of the box right now. This is going to get so much worse before it gets better. Your creativity is going to be so important. Now, the problem with this is you get a lot of people that are scientists. They're nerdy von nerdies, and they don't sell. But like I tell you, everybody sells. You need to be able to explain your position, explain what you do, and why they should hire you, because this is awful. Imagine writing a check for an introduction. Now, this reverse recruiting, I didn't even cover the best part. Hey, buddy, like a snack? Hello. There you go. The reverse recruiting is 20% of the first month's salary and 10% of the year's salary. So let's say you make 150 grand. Okay, I'm just going to say you make $10,000 a month. Imagine having to give the people $2,000 for the first month's salary, and then you're going to pay them, 20% of what the gross salary is after that. Isn't that crazy? The geese are eating. That's what's happening right now. Well, Dan, I'm so loaded down with student loan debt, I can barely eat right now. I'm eating top ramen all over the place. Yeah, you are. But the problem is, do something different. Do something different. I am telling you that companies that are thriving right now are trimming costs, cutting back. They're not just chopping heads, they're chopping expenses. The people that are hiring people that are real, and man, oh man, oh man, I would drive to these companies. Hi, I know this is unorthodox, but I would like to drop off my resume for the hiring manager. I've got 12 years of experience in the biotech space, blah, 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 blah. Okay? Do that. Now, my son wanted to get to high-end steakhouses and walked in. And he's a handsome 6'1" tall guy. And my ex-wife's boyfriend is really tall, so that's why my kid's so tall. But, almost 6'2", really tall guy. Well, I just explained to him, do this, do that. You want to get an interview? And because, Grant, there's 100 interviews, there's 100 resumes in front of you. These people don't know who you are, and they all have more experience. But you're a handsome guy. You get out of the car with a smile on your face, so if they see you through the window, they know what to expect. Different edge. You know what he got? He got hired at the steakhouse that he wanted to. And you can sit there and go, oh, big deal. Kid made a lot of money last year doing this. And the shenanigans of this, and knowing the menu and researching it, knowing what the company does, not just desperate for a job. I got the phone bill due. We all do, guys. We all do. Everybody has bills due right now, and you've got to be creative to get this. So the best one was a young man named David Baga, who's not so young, because I met him first 9 years ago. David Baga wrote a book. He was a former college athlete, tall dude himself, like 6'5". He played college basketball. I want to say not Arizona State, but the other Arizona University. Anyways, this kid went there on a basketball scholarship and knew he was never going to be in the NBA because he wasn't good enough, and he's white, and he was just, nerdy. But he got an education, and one thing that he did was he realized, I want to work in the medical space. He got a job working for a company called Paychex, like ADP, that does payroll. And he became one of the top salespeople. And what he did was different, out of the box behavior going to knock on doors to sell things. Then meeting people, going into companies, being in Irvine, California, and running into biotech companies and science companies. He's sitting there saying, what's different? What can I do? Gosh, what do you pay salespeople? Wow. So he wanted to become a sales rep inside that industry. So he did. He became a sales rep. But then what did he do? He wrote a book, The Millennial's Guide to Medical Device Sales. Now, two things. This got him inside the front door at so many different places. And it got him to where he got speaking gigs like at mine. But he's an articulate, handsome, good-looking guy that just knew his space and knew that market upside down. But what did David do for Dan? David brought 22-year-old women that wanted to be in the medical space. He brought kids that could buy tickets to the space. What did I do with David? Listen, we're going to randomly give out 5 events for Dan, but I've got discount coupons to where if you're young and you're a student, it's $100 off the event. Just ate them up. But this guy made $250,000 a year in his 20s doing this. It was absolutely brilliant. That's what you have to do now. Nothing is real. Everything is fake. This government doesn't look out for anybody like us. They can't stand us because we want to work and earn a living, and we are caught beating our brains out. These companies are lying to you. There are trillions of dollars worth of jobs listed that don't exist. The reverse recruiting should be criminal. But once again, companies did a shift right before COVID. And that was, why pay a guy like Dan all this money? Let's go get 3 kids that are 25 years old and pay them 1/3 of the salary of 1/3 of the workforce. Now, it doesn't work always, because what happened after COVID was they came back and said, wow, Dan, this isn't working. We've got to start hiring people at 165 grand a year. And do you have anybody that you can introduce us to? And I would do that. I'm sorry, the other side of the park is closed. That's why I'm spinning around here. But everybody got fed. Everybody's happy. So get ready. Fake jobs. Nobody can get a job. This is everything, guys. This is everything. 20% of your business should come from your existing clientele. If you operate on your own, you are a one-man band, one-woman show, 20% of your clients should be providing you with business. You should do more by spending no money than you should doing anything else. Guy wrote a book, friend of mine, Sean. Met him in the 2nd grade. Sean went out and wrote a book on how to beat a workers' comp audit. I'm like, wow, that's really boring, Sean. Dan, you don't understand. It gets me in front of large companies. I've gotten in front of companies where there's 500 and 600 employees that are in management and HR and things like that, and they all buy my book. That's part of the speaking gig. Think about that, guys. Think about that. What is your expertise? I just did this story yesterday. People are sick of the corporate grind. Why go out and have $100,000 worth of debt? Because you can't pay it back. You don't make enough money unless mommy and daddy are loaded and they're going to write a check for you. That's few and far between. A lot of these people that are paying these recruiters for this, they're not the best people. They just have opportunity to go out and write a check. Does that make sense? I hope it does. But don't believe everything you see. This is shenanigans right now. This is completely fake. This is awful. Job listings are awful. People send out hundreds of resumes and they get nothing. And I've told people, you're doing it wrong. Don't send out one more resume. Where do you want to work at? Right now, I'll do anything. Then go work at Starbucks then. I know they're hiring. Go do that. Go become a waiter temporarily. Oh my God, I've got a bioscience degree? Yeah. And you know what? 99% of the people out there don't care about that and can't pronounce what you have your degree in. I have had to take jobs to just pay the bills. And they were not a reflection on me. They were just the fact that I had to do something temporary. And my late girlfriend taught me something, and that was, your job is not a reflection of you. You're a smart person, Dan. you're going to figure it out. The difference is people pay me to go out and fix problems like this. And my friends, you know, they're very lucky because they sit down and they go, here's the problems I'm having getting clients. Here's the problem I'm having getting uh, uh, people to work for me, or, you know, maintaining good people. And we can sit down. Sometimes you need a disinterested third party that can sit there and give you an opinion. That's what I offer, guys. That's what I offer. But this, I know a ton about. I could go on. This video could have been an hour and a half long if I told you everything I knew about this. If you're hiring, don't be afraid to sit there and go, hey, let's have an open call Thursday between 2 and 3. Just come in, drop your resume off, introduce yourself. We're going to have soda and pie. You know, watch who shows up. Watch who shows up, because you're going to have a lot of qualified people walk through that door and drop resumes. I'm sorry. Hey, guys, just want you to know, we just want to meet you. And I guarantee they're going to film it. But the recruitment manager's not here. Sorry. Elizabeth is busy. But you get to see who the best people are. Oh my gosh. David's good. Dan's kind of a pain in the ass. You know, Mike's a good guy. You know what I mean? That's how it would be. So, onward and upward, guys. Everything is fake right now. It's all fake. I've thought about 20 different titles I could make this video. Please do not forget our private channel called iAllegedly Live, where we do the uncensored stuff, and it's just been on fire lately, and so many of you have signed up for that. Sign up now, iAllegedly.tv, because the price is going up as of the end of next month. Okay? I will see you very soon.